man. StreamYard, come on. Did you hear that, Jay?
What?
Did you hear that? The music like crapped out. It was so weird.
Sounded great.
I didn't hear it.
I thought it sounded fine here.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Hey, hello, Johnny Beane TV. It is June 12th, 2020, 8:09 p.m. Eastern, 5:09 Santa Cruz time. And here we are, Friday night. And who's in here? We got Jay Hannon.
Any clap? I mean, come on, guys. There we go.
There you go. We got David Nesdahl.
Yeah. How we doing?
How you doing, man?
Good.
Oh, man.
I think
And
it's
Dave, who
ready.
do we have? Dave, who's here tonight?
Peter Gusmano.
All right. What's up, man? Not bad.
How are you?
Peter.
How you doing?
Great.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys. Love your show.
Thank you so much.
We paid him to say that, by the way.
Yeah. Checks in the mail.
And as we go back, Johnny and I were figuring out how we go back quite a bit. It's interesting.
Yeah. I know I've seen your name, on Facebook and probably mostly Facebook, I would say, over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. And now you're telling. When did you first start watching this channel?
A couple of years ago. I mean, like I said, I first saw your. I mean, again, I know that we've always shared the love for the EVH world through many. Yeah, exactly. Through many circles of people, and I recall. Sometimes I would jump online if there was some little lick or something that I wanted to learn, and I would come across your videos. So then after that, I've been seeing that you have this very cool podcast, and I've been checking it out. So I appreciate it, man. It's there's nothing like hanging and just bullshit and talking guitars and all that kind of good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
more of that right now,
Yes. Yeah. And speaking of podcast. This is a podcast on Spotify, TuneIn, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio. Where else? What else it says? Apple, Stitcher.
You're on so many different platforms you don't even remember.
Yeah. Well, see, well, Jay, you probably know this. What happens is other podcasting companies they can grab your feed and you don't even know it. So you're like out on all these different places that you have no idea.
Is that a good thing?
I
would hope so.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. So check out the podcast and let's say hello really quickly to our executive producers here on YouTube. Like Charles Green, Joe Christian, Music Therapy Laz, David Annis, Thomas Santiago, Mike Neese, Connor Johnson, 5150, Michael Smith, Sam Dave Dude, and Steve Carmichael.
I love how the newer editions have different fonts to them.
Yeah.
Like just like, oh shit, I don't remember what font I used. Screw it, whatever.
Oh, well, I was telling Peter, we did a test call a few hours ago. And I'm like, I do all this stuff on my phone, which is about to disintegrate.
That's amazing.
So
that's duct tape.
Yeah.
You know what that actually looks like? It looks like an oversized pager. That's what that looks like. You'll page me.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's awful. See, what's happening is the battery is popping out and the screen is lifting. So it's actually hard for me to I have to really press to get it to do anything. But all this stuff, I make all these things on my phone like that, but real tiny. So it takes forever.
It's impressive on the phone.
Thank you. But it takes forever. So just imagine having to do something like this. That's why it's all weird looking.
Yeah. So if anybody looks at these and complains about the spacing, just realize that Johnny's doing it on a page.
Like right there. Sorry, Michael Smith. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna do something else with that. But thank you so much to our executive producers, our channel members here on YouTube. They're the little green guys in the chat with the guitars. So
Nice.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody watching on Facebook as well. So who's here? Who's in the chat room?
Do I have to read it?
Somebody.
Yeah, it's your job.
My job. Gotta have a job.
That's what you get paid for.
We got thrash metal and fun riffs. Fender Guru, Dave Douglas, Jimmy Ka, Robot Master Switch, Hal Face, Papa Blue. I don't want to read any doubles tonight. We got Chazard Fan 1969. Hello there. Did I say music therapy, Laz? Well, now I
You
did.
did now.
Thomas Santiago, Michael James, Hugh Caldwell, 7/8, and Cameron Brown is here. Wasn't expecting that, considering he was up till messaging me at 10:30 p.m. my time last night, which is like 5 a.m. his time or 4:30.
I was watching one of his videos on Instagram earlier, and actually, I popped into one of his Instagram lives a few days ago or something. He was jamming along, and he's like, "Hey, Johnny."
Thanks, Jimmy.
That's enough. Anybody else that I didn't get to, we know you're watching, so watch yourself.
Yeah, and leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you're watching this on Facebook, leave a like, whatever you call it. Yeah, it's a like, right?
So, Peter, before we get going here, I'm going to take a wild guess that you're a Kiss fan. Just a wild guess. I'm throwing it out there.
I'm not sure how you knew, but yeah, a little bit. I mean, I've been a Kiss fan since, I don't know, God knows, a long time. I'm going to date myself, but quite a while, man. That band is who started it for me, I think it was pretty much when I purchased Alive 2. It was at the same time I purchased Van Halen 1. Wow. So those are the two things that kind of changed the trajectory of everything for me, man. But yeah, good guess. Nothing to do with, the man cave of Kiss stuff.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. You a Kiss fan or no?
I never really was until about maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Who's doing that? Who's making the sound effects right now? But it's weird. I like the I guess the era that not many hardcore Kiss fans like.
So you're talking about the era of like Bruce Kulick and Eric Singer and those revenge years. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know what it is. I just.
Yeah.
By the way, rest in peace, Bob Kulick.
Yeah, true. That was sad. Very sad. But yeah, those were great. Those are great years. Carnival of Souls, Revenge. That's some great stuff right there.
I like the stuff. Everything without the makeup. I like.
Yeah.
I don't like makeup Kiss.
Even Lick It Up. I mean, the video for that is one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. But, if you haven't seen that video, anybody out there, if you haven't seen that video in a while, you gotta go watch it, because it's like, what were they thinking?
John B.L., put it in the Discord.
It was kind of their lost. It was a bit of their lost years in a way, Yeah. Creatures of the Night was Creatures of the Night was another turning point, I thought, for the band. But some of the non-makeup stuff is amazing songs and great, musicianship on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of my favorite Kiss stuff is it'd have to be the 70s.
Yeah,
the 70s stuff, the early makeup stuff, and then probably the disco stuff that everybody just hates.
But again, some of those records like Unmasked and Dynasty and stuff like that, those were I mean, you either loved them or hated them, but I dug some of that stuff, Great grooves. Whether or not they were actually playing it or not, it's another story, but
Hmm. Clayton James Hicks. Today is Frankenstrat Friday. That's right, Clayton. Yeah.
Speaking of Frankenstrats, Pete, the one behind you looks really cool. Did you make that yourself?
No. Actually, there's an interesting story about that one. That one I actually purchased from when I went to Japan. I from Akibi over there. So believe it or not, I don't know. I had an issue of Young Guitar magazine at one point, and I just was flipping through it, and there was a page in there with these Frankenstrats that I think were built at the ESP custom shop there in Japan. And I didn't even, think to convert any yen or anything like that, but I just went ahead and tried to order it. They said they weren't going to ship it to the US, but I called over there and got some guy who had agreed to send it to me. But it's about, I don't know, I got that I think at about 2000 I got that one.
Mm-hmm.
And they had two versions, a 5150 version, the newer one of his, and then the original, like a Frankenstein. But what's interesting about it, it has it kind of has the different headstock on it, but it's a phenomenal guitar. They did it, but I love it. I've had it for a while. The neck plays great. Everything about it plays great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So is it just blank on the headstock?
Yeah. It doesn't say anything on the headstock. It's it's kind of it's the relic work on it is it's excellent. I mean, they did a great job. I mean, look, some of the pages that you go on, everybody's going to want to know if it has the right scratch or anything like that. But this particular one, like, it didn't have the detune on it. It's original Floyd. But in terms of the
it's shiny.
Yeah, I mean, it's beat quite a bit, but I think it's almost shined up from just how much I've probably taken it around and stuff like that. But it's great guitar, and it was just kind of like a one-off thing that I saw in a magazine there, and I was like, I loved it, But I'm kind of intrigued a little bit by the new 51, the new Frankensteins,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those. Did you? Were you at NAMM this last one?
I was not at this last one. I was not, but I saw the recap of the booth about it, and they look fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's more the spirit of it. It's not going to be exact, but the necks look amazing on it.
Yeah. Oh, they play great.
Yeah.
The EVH Stripe series, they get better and better. Every new model that comes out, is better than the last.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. Honestly, the Made in Mexico stuff, I'm a big fan of. I've had all the incarnations of the specials and stuff like that, and I just got that purple special here, and it's my favorite one. I think the quality control is coming out pretty well. You just do a little bit of tweaking, maybe just a little bit of fret stuff or whatever if you want to mod it. I put a lot of the FU tone stuff in some of these axes, so it's pretty cool.
Nice.
You got a lot of them back there yourself up there. Dave. A lot of.
Yeah, I have I make those.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not even know that. Really?
Yeah, those are all ones that I make.
Wow.
Pretty much anything with stripes on it and a Floyd I've made. Me and my partner.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, Dennis, the new mic is not good. It's super distorted and it comes in and out. Dennis is in the audience today.
What's wrong with it?
Exactly that.
I think mine sounds great. Yeah. Hey, Caleb. Caleb says happy Friday, everybody. Yeah, Caleb's waiting for his Frankenstein EVH.
Yeah, so
you could have one of those.
A couple of the places here on the island, David. There's a place out here on the island where I just picked up this purple special, and they got a couple of the new Frankensteins, and
what place is that?
It's a place. I guess there's a place out here in Island Park. This place, Safe Haven Guitars.
Yeah, I know Safe Haven.
Yeah, so I'd say like a couple of months ago, when I picked up the purple one or whatever, he was going to get a couple of them, but I see them floating around online for sale already.
Mm-hmm.
They look really cool. I don't know, I'm trying to resist, but
let's see the purple, since you have it right next to you, right? The
Yeah,
purple-
yeah. I gotta tell you, these are just great. I mean, I had the Japan ones, and then a couple of the other ones, but these are they're really great guitars. The ebony neck, I mean, I just feel like it's the closest quality wise to I have my US ones, which are pretty much my main guitars, and I just love the feel of those. It's just something about them. But this guitar plays great, and aside from the jumbo frets, I think really they just feel fantastic. I don't know. I'm a fan of the smaller frets in the Wolfgangs, but
me too. Yep.
Yeah,
Same here.
I kind of never thought that. But it got to a point now where I've been playing that stuff, and you just get so used to it that when you go to these jumbo frets, it gets a little weird. But
They almost feel like speed bumps. That's how when you're playing the vintage frets
Yeah.
on an EVH, and then you go back to the maybe
Yeah.
Mexico ones, it's like
it gets a little weird. Yeah, but this I'm loving it, man. It sounds fantastic, and I just think they did a really, really good job with these. And then the new finishes are great. This
that does look great.
is like, yeah, it's killing.
Mhm. Were you at NAMM last year?
Yes, not this past one, the one before.
The previous.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the last one would be considered this year.
Right.
In January. So
Last-
the one
Yes, that's right.
last year. Caleb, was that last year when those purple ones came out? Or was that the year before? Caleb and
I thought that was this year.
Well, was it the purple or the blue one? I remember when we were at the EVH booth,
Yeah, that's
we were looking at the body and under the fluorescent lights. It was amazing. We couldn't believe it. We were like, Caleb, when was that? That was this January? No. Okay, maybe it was a different one then. Maybe it wasn't the purple. Maybe it was the blue one.
yeah.
I'm thinking last year.
No, that was this year.
Well, I've got a picture of me that Caleb took from like a year ago. I don't know.
Then again, I haven't I feel like I haven't left my house in like 9 years, so I don't know. So it could have been.
Oh, I was telling you earlier, man. I finally left the house after 3 months. And it's weird.
I prefer not leaving the house anyway, so this is great for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't leave the house here.
There's a lot of people that I feel that way.
How you been? How you guys holding up? Well, it's normal to me because same old, same old.
It's normal to me at night because I'm sitting here at night anyways.
Night Rider.
So
Yeah.
what did you guys think about NAMM this year? In terms of what they were showing at the EVH booth, what did you guys think?
I was there and I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, all the different finishes. They had all the different standards.
Yeah.
They had a whole bunch of new finishes for the standards, like the orange one, the yellow one, the green one. Actually, where's that picture? I posted a picture actually to my Instagram. Where is it? This picture's from a while ago, but I have a feeling. Here, let me show this. Okay, here's a picture that I posted to Instagram. Oh crap! Hang on. Wait.
Johnny will edit this section out for the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think your son is in here
He is.
in the chat. Hey, welcome, man.
Yeah. That's my son, Charizard fan, 1969.
Charizard, man. Okay, here it is. I don't know how this phone works, but anyway, I have a feeling. Well, here's a picture we haven't really seen before. You guys probably saw it if you follow me on.
I've seen that picture.
You've seen that him playing the orange one or the red one?
Yep.
Is that? I never saw that.
Yeah, I've never saw it either.
Wow.
That photo shoot was from like a few years ago.
Yeah. When the orange one came, that's the standard. Those are the standard.
Yeah, it's a standard. Yeah. Anyway. Yes.
Well, I just feel like, I mean, I didn't go to NAMM, but I mean, EVH didn't have to do very much considering they had the Frankie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of stole the show anyway. So
yeah. I think people were waiting for that, for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there's always those folks I feel like that are going to, talk about the price point on it, and I think it's obvious. I think it's a Mexican production, right? Coming out of the but like I said, I mean, I just think the stuff coming out of there has just been great.
I just really wish they would have finished the guitar, like put the reflectors on and put a quarter on it. Finish the guitar.
Well, I think I do. It'd be cool if it was like that, but I think some people might kind of find it cool to do it themselves. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think some people are doing that.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people that went ahead and finished out some of the work on it. Do you? So let me ask you a question. The ones that are hanging up behind you there, like, do you do all the eras? Like, you sell?
Sure, I'll do any era you want.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's great.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's my mind is not on this right now. My mind is on why my sound sucks.
Well, right now it's fine.
It's not in my cans though. It's all distorted.
No, it's not. It sounds fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You probably have a different volume for your headphones. Do you have two volumes?
Yeah.
One for the headphones and one for the mic?
I'm sure I do. I just can't get to it right now.
Yeah, you can. It should be on the headset.
No.
Or on the headset. Jesus, listen to me. It should be on the microphone, right?
No. I have a different mic than you. I have the Yeti Pro.
Ooh.
Does Pro mean minus features? Is that what's going on?
Well, mine has a 5-pin XLR cable. It's for Pro recording and USB.
Gotcha.
What mic did you get? What was the mic?
It's this one. If I can get it over here.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, and the front. That's the volume knob for the headphones.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Do you have the headphones plugged into the microphone?
No, I do not. It's
Oh,
plugged
well,
into the interface.
You're supposed to plug your headphones into.
No,
the
dude,
microphone.
not this time. I have them plugged into the interface.
Okay, well then that knob's not going to do anything for you then, huh?
Probably not.
Wait, Dave, don't touch that button.
Don't we have something to talk about? Don't we have Pete on for a reason?
Yes.
I'm just reading some of these questions. I'm just reading through some of these comments. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird, but not weird, because Pete, he's been watching these videos for a long time. And so it's,
Yeah, no,
this is normal. It's just hanging out,
hanging out. This is great. Did you guys play the new? Did you check out the new Stealth 50 yet? The head? No,
I did not.
Not me.
Yeah, I heard some clips of it. It sounds pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've actually gone 100 degrees. 90 degrees the other way, or 180 degrees the other way. 177 degrees the other way.
Does Desiree know?
Yes. Yeah, I'm using Strats and Tellys and Les Pauls into a Tweed 112.
Nice.
Less gain, more clean.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me suck. I don't mind it.
Hey, if you want to find your
That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Turn the gain down and turn the effects off. You're like, holy shit, I suck.
That's why when I'm practicing at home, I just play the acoustic. No gain, no nothing.
No gain, no gain. My room is like changing colors. You see this?
Yeah.
It's weird. The whole back wall is like,
Yeah.
that new paint I put on there.
Really? It always does.
I know.
It always
You know
kind
what
of
it is?
did.
I saw that
Right
clip.
there.
I saw that clip that I share with you guys, and I had this light back there. I might switch it back next time. I think it screws everything up not having a light behind me.
Mm-hmm. Well, my lighting's always terrible.
You're always using different stuff.
For 4 or 5 years, I was sitting here last night at 2:30 in the morning. I stumbled across an old video of Dave and I from like 4 years ago, and I'm sitting here just watching it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's so weird because my background is basically the same, but it changes, you know.
Well, you're in the same room, so of course it's going to be the
I know. I've been sitting here in the same room, facing the same wall for almost six years now. What was I going to say? But yeah, Peter, do you want to talk about your website for a little while?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know we were chatting a little bit earlier, Johnny, about it. So my project's called Guitar for a Cure, and probably about 10 years ago is when I started that. Yeah, 2010, and I'm a 501c3 for Project ALS. So the basis for it was that I went through the horrible experience of losing my mother to ALS, and she and my dad were obviously so supportive of my music background as a kid. And I'm a drummer, naturally, just from childhood I was drumming, and as I got older I wanted to get into doing some guitar playing. It was kind of something I had always wanted to do, and then I kind of started writing some of my original stuff, and I had this idea to kind of go in the studio and record the CD, and with the intention of partnering up with Project ALS to do 100% of the sales, both digitally and hard CD sales is donated to Project ALS. So and that's from gigs and shows and merchandise and any of that kind of stuff. So it's really been a blast. The biggest reward for me is anytime I'm able to hand the check over to those guys as they try and forge ahead to try and find a, they're right now working on some clinical trials to for new medication that they have that they feel is promising. But essentially, really, what I've done is kind of made my focus to kind of drive awareness for ALS, for Project ALS, and what their specialty really is about research and driving research, and they are the foremost leader in fundraising for the purposes of clinical trial work. So that's kind of what really been the genesis of my project, and it's come through the forms of a lot of different things. I've got some really great special guests on the material that I've done. Dave Weiner of the Steve Vai Band, Bruce Boulet of Racer X, and the Scream, Brian Tishy from the drummer for Dead Daisies and Whitesnake and whatnot, and most recently Ty Tabor did a guest solo for the last track. And I work pretty closely with a very good friend of mine and musician and partner of mine here on Long Island, Ethan Meixel, bass player, guitarist extraordinaire. He does a lot of the engineering with me as well. So, really it's about just driving awareness for what is ALS, what is Lou Gehrig's disease. And the people at Project ALS are just super special people. And I think to date we're close to $100,000 that we've done in donations for them. And it just feels great, man. It just feels great. All right.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And one of the things you scroll by, and I saw one of the comments in here, one of the things that I did was that link up there that says Pedals for a Cure. We did a Robert Keeley and myself designed a line of pedals. It was a very limited run. We did Drive for a Cure. We did Phase Out ALS. We did 4 or 5 different pedals. They were in limited runs, and it's kind of interesting now when you jump online, you might see them floating around on eBay or over in Japan or something like that. But they're really, really phenomenal pedals that are meant to be partnered up with a little bit more of your gain tones. And, you know, Robert's just a genius to begin with. And it was just a really, really great experience. And so they're floating around out there if you ever check them out. But they're great, great pedals, as is everything that he makes. So, but we had a blast doing that. So it comes in the form of that. I also partnered up with Bill Nash of Nash Guitars. He built a one-off Strat that I auctioned off when I played at BB King's in New York City. He took it around, had it signed by everybody from Def Leppard to Metallica, whatever. He did this custom Guitar for a Cure Strat. We auctioned it off that night of the show there at BB King. So, you know, again, as I was mentioning, Johnny, you know, I work in advertising and marketing. And so I just constantly have this drive to continue to find different unique ways to market the idea of, you know, driving awareness for ALS through different, you know, different projects. So that's a little bit about it. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's been, you know, and honestly, like, it was really cool. Like, I know when, you know, Andy Timmons and Danger did some reunion shows out here on Long Island, you know, you know, Robert wanted me to get him some of these pedals, and I think he got Lukather or Petrucci, one, you know, a couple of these at the time when they came out. So that was a really cool project. We're talking about the idea of maybe doing something like that again. But honestly, a lot of the companies, you know, that I do work with, Morley, New Neighbor Pedals, you know, DiMarzio, things like that. It's been really, really cool. They're really, really receptive to the project. And, you know, that's why I mentioned maybe down the road we could do some, you know, giveaways or some stuff like that, you know, some of that stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So if somebody wanted to donate on your site right now, where would they go?
So if you go to Project ALS, well, you could either go to Project ALS or you could just go to Guitar for a Cure. There's an option in there to either make a donation. We sell T-shirts. I'm selling CDs. We sell wristbands. We sell a lot of other stuff from there. And you know, again, there's going to be some new stuff coming up. I've got some new material that I'm working on right now. So, but we did a really, really cool run of some shirts, stickers, all this other kind of stuff. So you can check it out on the site. And then, you know, again, it drives 100% of the proceeds over to Project ALS.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
it's you know, for me, it's, you know, my biggest passion is just playing music and hanging out with cool people that want to talk about music and doing all that kind of stuff. And, you know, for me, you know, it's talking with people who are suffering with the disease, talking with people who understand somebody who has had the disease. It's pretty eye-opening. And, you know, it's pretty special. The initial CD, just also to go back, in 2010 when I released my first CD, that was done here with Carl Roa on Long Island. We recorded that over at his home studio, and Joe Churko was on drums with that CD. And
I know both those guys.
Yeah, Churko's a great guy. Phenomenal job on the drums on that, and Ethan was on bass. We had some special guests on guitars on the CD as well, Dave Weiner. But Carl did a phenomenal job with the production on that, and he's a monster musician. So that was fun as hell doing that, you know. So there's a couple of other things coming up I'm really excited about. But again, you know, just the other day, for example, Project ALS did a streaming podcast to talk about this potential new drug that they're about to go into clinical trial with, and I happened to type a question in the Q&A thing in there, and the two sisters who are the presidents of it just had some really, really kind words about, you know, how it's been for the last, you know, I've been with those guys kind of since they started the whole thing, and it just made it all so rewarding. So it's cool, but at heart, I'm a tone freak and a gearhead and all that kind of stuff, like we all are. So you know, that's what makes it fun. So. Yeah, those were photos from over when we did it at Carl's. And
is this all your stuff?
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is. At the time, some of those have come and gone. But the Soldano that's there, it's black, it's red now. But yeah, the Soldano was pretty much the primary amp that I used on a lot of that stuff. We used some Fortin stuff. Some other really, really cool, some cool amps at the time as well. But for the most part, what happened was when I went to Carl, I went in with some demos of some stuff that I had been working on. A lot of it with loops, and just kind of thought I was going to just hand over a hard drive and leave it as it was. And we went in there and reamped some stuff, and we just kind of mic'd everything up. And I all of a sudden started to feel like, you know what, maybe it makes sense to go in and just redo all the stuff. So we did that, and just really, really happy with that. And then since then, it's interesting. The music industry, as you guys know, has changed a little bit. So,
just a little,
bit. But sometimes, honestly, I just feel like just releasing sometimes singles at a time. I think it's.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the way to go now. People digest music in a different way. So, so that's a little bit about the project, and it's just made me, kind of makes me feel good about myself, and in terms of that, some of the people who've written, once they've listened to some of the music, it means a lot to them, and so it's been a good experience, and I'm really excited about some of the new material I'm working on.
But it's really neat how you get to use or do something for that cause, doing something you love. Like music, you're able to.
That's really what it was about for me, was because, look, any of us, sitting here, somebody asked you to get up and jam, you want to get up and jam, like that's just rewarding enough. You just love it so much, and, now that I was able to sit in on a call the other day and talk a lot about this potential drug that they're working on, that they're about to go into clinical trial with, it really kind of makes it feel like it's all going to be for something at some point, very soon, I think, and, my mother had the condition. We were talking about this earlier, John, you got the Jason Beckers of the world, who, God bless them. They continue to push through every day. My mother was one who, was struck with the disease, and it was less than a year, until she had passed. And it was a really, really hard time, but some of the music I was writing during it was pretty cathartic for her, and I just kind of felt like I wanted to continue that, so it's been cool. It's been really, really cool. And my son, who's actually in the chat, who just turned 10, it's kind of interesting. I was recording the other day, and now all of a sudden, he's a musician at heart, and now he's doing keyboards on one of my tunes. If there's anything more mind-blowing than that, man, I don't know. It's crazy.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
That's great. And yeah, speaking to Jason Becker, yeah, he's a good friend of mine. His family, they're amazing.
Must be such an it must be an incredible experience to have met him, and like I was saying, just the way that he has presented himself during this whole thing, as an inspiration for people. It's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's incredible. His whole family.
Yeah.
All his friends and family, everybody.
Yeah.
Because I'll go over to his house for his birthday parties, and just the vibe, is amazing.
That's great. And listen, you know what? The thing about this about ALS is that it robs you of so much, but the one thing it doesn't rob you of is your mind and your creativity. My mother was somebody who did the Sunday crossword puzzles in the New York Times in pen. Up until the very end, she wasn't able to write it, but she was able to find a way to communicate what the word was. And so, Jason's his music has been brilliant. Even more so, even after he's been stricken with it. So it's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he continues to write and record.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you guys? So let me ask you a question. I was thinking, like, who's been the most interesting guest that you guys have had on the show, just for whatever reason? Like,
oh, geez.
What's something, I was just thinking about it, that could be answered so many different ways, but I'm saying, like, what are been some interesting people that you felt.
I mean, it's always different, but it's always the same but different.
I understand what you mean. Yeah.
It's very hard to pick one because a lot of the people that we've had on the show watch the show.
Yeah.
You don't want to disrespect anybody. Every show it's like your own little baby, every one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll give a couple of my favorites so far, and I'm going to feel weird if I leave. I'll probably think of another one after the show and be like, shit, I should have mentioned that one too. But I mean, a recent one, obviously the Billy Sheehan, when we had Billy on. I mean, that was, I got messages and stuff after that show for like the next day and a half.
Yeah.
People saying, yo, it was such a great show. Might have been your, the best one yet and stuff. So there's that one. And I know the first time we had Thomas McRocklin on, that was a good, and we had him on, I think, twice now, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 times. And he's such a great guy. And
he's a good guy. Yeah.
And obviously, he's an all right guitarist, It's okay.
It's awesome. Yeah. And Billy Sheehan, I got to say something about him. And again, probably through the Keeley thing, I've met him many a time from when he was doing his Niacin gigs, here in the city, and many shows that he's done up at the Iridium. He's just a great guy, like he's just always so down to earth, always. I mean, just the fact that even online, like you ask him a question, he writes you back, he gets back to you. He's not, he's wired differently,
Yeah.
I know. I wrote him an email 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And he wrote back to me. And
he said, I'll see you in 20 years on your show.
That's great.
Yeah, and every year at NAMM, when I run into him, he's super cool.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's very down to earth, and I mean, again, the guy. I mean, when you think about the resume of what that guy's done, it's just mind blowing. It really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I got to chime in. Another thing that was cool with him is we did like 3 hours with him.
Just about.
Just about 3 hours.
Yeah.
And after like the first hour and a half to almost 2 hours, sometimes you feel bad, like, shit, we're kind of running out of things to talk about. You don't want to keep somebody. These guys got stuff going on. And he just kept, hey, what else you got? What's in the chat? Got any more questions? What else? Come on, give me something else. Give me something else.
And that's the truth. After that show, the next day I emailed him to say thank you so much for being on the show. It was a great time. And he said, just any one of you guys email me or text me again. I'll come on right away. If you want me on tomorrow, I'll come right back on tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, you got to appreciate that stuff. I mean, I think it says a lot about the character of some of these guys,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, we've had a lot of people on, and I can't even remember, these shows, they all kind of, it's a blur after a while, but I won't name any names because I can't even remember their names, but there's been people we've had on here where it's like, it's like, man, that was a disaster.
You ain't kidding.
It's like, that was like, what was that? But.
What? Oh man!
It was that time when we had Jay Hannon as a guest.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I had Jay Hannon as a guest, I thought it was pretty damn good.
Every time I'm on with you guys, it's like the worst, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, for me, I just love doing this.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this. I'm OG, man. I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this way before the quarantine sessions or whatever,
Exactly.
Because now everybody's doing them. They're everywhere. But I just think it's a good outlet. Just, I don't know, just to make friends, just to talk, just to, promote.
I agree. No, yeah. It's like anything else. Until you meet people who don't have that common bond, where they could just sit down and just all of a sudden pick up a conversation. I mean, name the last time you went to a show where you didn't, you weren't there to see a band and there's somebody next to you that wants to see that same band. So therefore you're sharing immediately that same passion for something, It's, I don't know. To me, that's kind of what, I mean, really the best part about, when you think about what by doing music, who you've met and the way your life has gone. You know, it's kind of always interesting, you know. But I mean, I've met some amazing folks, you know, and it's just fun, you know. It's fun to talk about it. It's with everything going on, you know. This is what it should be about, you know.
You know what I think is funny is when celebrities do these shows and these YouTube programs and stuff, and they're not good. You know, like I'm not going to name any names, but there are some like.
Well, now you have
to. Everyone looks up to. People look up to them, and it's
so who are you talking about? Like, what? They're not watching this.
Yeah, sure. Like the Johnny Beane show. It's pretty horrible.
So Peter, you just said something about going to shows and, you know, like standing next to somebody like, oh yeah, I'm the exact opposite, man. I go to a show
and you don't want to.
I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's standing in front of me, you know, and then I feel bad because my wife is like 5'2" and 3/4. And, you know, anybody that she's standing behind is going to be in her way. So I'm always like, you want to switch spots? I'll move over here. Do you want? And then somebody bumps into you because I can't stand it anymore. I'm becoming like an old fart when I go to concerts.
Well, listen, I'm not saying that. I definitely agree with you on that. I won't say it's always like this great like synergy, but it is kind of interesting though, because I see my buddy Mike is in the chat thing right now. But it's like recent, like again, you know, I think John Mayer's a phenomenal guitarist. I'm a big fan of his. You know. Love him, hate him, whatever it is, you know, to win over the respect of the Grateful Dead fans and learn an arsenal of 500 plus songs is pretty respectable. But I had never in my life experienced the idea of going to a Dead show or any one of these Dead and Company shows or whatever. But my buddy Mike and I went, and again, just to kind of say like I experienced going to that or did that, you know, again, it was just interesting because I had absolutely zero in common with some of these people who've seen them like 100 times. But again, you're there celebrating music and just hanging out, you know, and it was kind of interesting. And I think what's going on right now in the world, I think the one thing, you know, for a lot of musicians is it is kind of a weird thing because you kind of like that interaction of going to things and therefore, you know, being with the people you like, you know, forget the music for a minute, you know, which stinks in and of itself. But, you know, just being able to go and hang out with the people, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and people are going crazy now, you know, that's,
yeah.
You know, like I was telling you earlier, you know, I'm like, we did a test call and I'm like, in between now and when we go live, I'm going to go out for a walk.
Yeah.
You know? Which I normally wouldn't, you know, because I got, you know, stuff I got to do here, but I had to get out of here, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up an interesting topic. You know, in America, especially, you know, for the past 10, 15 years, probably more like 10 years, maybe 15, like live concerts, it's not the same as it was 20, 30 years ago.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Especially in America.
Yep.
Do you think that this could kind of, you know, I hate to say taking a bad from or good from the bad, but whatever. Do you think this can kind of help music? Like when everything comes back and, you know, comes back to normal as close as it can be or whatever. Do you think people are going to be like, I have to, you know, maybe it re-energizes the live music scene in America? I'm hoping
it's a good point.
That happens.
Really good point. You know, I think people will just want it so much, you know, so much more. I mean, here it is on Long Island. I mean, you know this, you know, David, you know, here it is. You're on Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a summer of not seeing something at Jones Beach, you know, beautiful night. I mean, I remember years ago, you know, when Van Halen was last there, I got my VIP, package or whatever, and I went to the, you know, like that was kind of like part of summer, you know, was going to see some shows at the beach or wherever on Long Island, and it's kind of weird not being. So maybe people will be more hungry for it, you know. I hope so.
I think people are going to be scared.
I was going to say it definitely comes with that, though.
Well,
yeah.
For a little while, I agree with you. Some people are not going to want to go to especially a crowded event like that when you're packed earmuff to earmuff, breathing on. Yo, this part's awesome. You know, like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yo. You know? But yeah. Yep. And
Don't you hate it when you're at a concert and you can feel somebody breathing on your neck?
or you smell and you're like, man, come on, who did it? And you can't hear it because music.
Come on,
but you can do it
please.
and blame it on someone else though.
Yeah, you're the one who does it, and you say that.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I'm really hoping that this kind of re-energizes. Like, it's like you get so used to having something available to you, and it's like, no big deal. And then when it gets taken your way, you're like, oh,
Amazing.
I need that.
I've been thinking about that lately. It's like all those times, that you went to something and you left and you were like, all of a sudden you were thinking about whatever the next thing was, makes you kind of just soak it in, a little bit more.
Yeah.
But that's why now, hearing about these things, they're like, drive-in concerts and all this kind of stuff. I don't know yet, if it's going to have that same,
I was just thinking of something so stupid. It would be cool to do that if the band gets to play in their car too. You know what I mean? Like, just hanging out the window,
just driving
on the roof or something, roof of the car.
Well, isn't Garth Brooks is doing one, right?
Is he?
I think Garth Brooks is
he is. Yeah.
John Biel, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. But somehow he'll make it. He'll make it work and make it cool somehow. But it's it's weird. It's a good question. I hope it does come back like that. But I do think at first people will be.
Yeah, some people are going to be a little nervous, and there's obviously going to be some restrictions in some places, whether it be, half, if you're allowed 1,000 people in there, maybe 500 or whatever. But
yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, Jay, because out here in California, you have to wear a mask. You go, you can walk around outside without one, but any store you have to wear a mask. They won't let you in.
Same here. Yeah.
Same here.
I don't think it is where he is.
No. There's only one place that I know of around me that requires a mask to get into, and that's Costco. That's it. Everywhere else is like you can do whatever you want, But we haven't really had that big of an issue down here. That's I think obviously part of the reason. If it was bad in South Carolina or in my area, I'm sure there'd be more restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
But you do get those looks. I'll go to the food store. I'm not wearing a mask, and you'll get the look from Karen wearing a mask. Like you'll see the eyes light up and look at you.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you out here. Yeah, Trader Joe's. They form a line outside, and they only let so many people in at a time.
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even let you go towards the counter. It's like I went walking up, and they're like, "Get back, get behind the line." Yeah.
They bought the garlic.
Yeah. I know.
Holy water.
I know. And really quickly, music therapy, Laz. Music therapy. The first one, Johnny, I tried to hello me with. What?
Hello.
The worst. Remember? Huh?
See, he's got it down pat.
I don't even know what channel I was streaming on. Oh, he's talking about when he does his own shows.
Oh.
I think. Yeah, music therapy. He does his own stuff on his channel.
Oh, cool.
Well, music therapy. Hey,
you know who else is in the chat, boys?
Let me see.
You got a Steve Anderson sighting.
Steve Anderson?
Steve-O.
Yeah, he was here about 10 minutes ago.
Hey, man.
Dave's going to rewire his whole system while we're live on the air.
Just tired of looking at this thing. This cable. All crazy.
See ya, Edwin. Have a good one.
Good night, Edwin. Edwin's leaving, so we got to wrap the show up.
Yeah.
Well, it's also interesting because it makes you think about the shows that what was your last show that you saw before the whole?
Oh man, I never went to concerts anyway.
No.
No. Well, of course, if Van Halen came to town, yeah, I'd be there, and certain bands I would go. I can't even tell you the last concert. I have no idea.
I mean, I've been to a lot of local concerts, but not, the last big band was Van Halen in 2015.
Yeah.
We have a House of Blues about, 15 minutes away from us. And the last few years, it's really been the tribute acts, coming through. Like there's a couple of Van Halen, there's one of Dave's buddies has a Van Halen tribute act. They came through. They were really good.
Completely Unchained?
Yeah.
Unchained,
yeah.
Yeah, I know guys at KJ's up here before, back when, before the current guitarist. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, what Van Halen tribute band has that the younger kid, Stratton, I believe is his name. I think he's leaving them. But what Van Halen tribute act or tribute band was he in? Because I think that might have been the last show that we saw up there. So,
John B.L.
Yeah, John.
I have no idea.
There's like a 16 or 17-year-old kid that's in one of those Van Halen.
Did we stream some of that one? I know we streamed some of the shows you'd go to. We would stream.
Yeah, the Completely Unchained one. I streamed some of that.
Yeah, with Jake Miller.
Jake Miller. I streamed. I want to say that one of the there was like Grunge Night or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an Alice in Chains tribute and a Stone Temple Pilots tribute. They were the same exact band, same exact guys, 2 sets dressed differently. Yeah, we thought we were seeing 2 different bands, and all of a sudden, like the same guys came out with like different outfits on.
Smart way for them to do it. That's how they.
Yeah, and I'm like, they're hopefully they're double dipping. You know what I mean?
Different guitars.
We're doing
different stuff.
We're doing 2 sets as 2 different bands. Hey, we're doing it.
That's cool. And yeah, Steve Carmichael says that Van Halen tribute is called the 84.
Yeah, I think that's them. Yeah.
He said he knows the singer.
That's cool.
Right on, man.
Yeah, but that's what's really been popular around here. I mean, some people aren't fans of the whole tribute thing, but it's cool for, I guess, some of the older guys like us that our favorite bands, they're either retired or they're not playing, or if they are playing, no one's coming out here. Like the closest place Van Halen comes to me or would come is like 4.5 hours away. I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, listen, the tribute band thing, I think, is like you said, people want it, people just want it. You know what I mean? It's what they want to see. Justin. But like a good friend of mine's in Almost Queen, which is a big Queen tribute band. I mean, listen, if you love Queen, you're gonna want to go see those guys. It's just what it is. All original, and that's actually interesting because when I was playing out, doing some of my original stuff, we've always mixed up covers in it as well, just because. Not just because like a lot of the stuff is instrumental, but not even just because of that, because I just enjoy playing covers, like certain covers, I think it's a lot of fun. But I think it's, again, the scene is sometimes like there's a couple of places I know that only really focus on the tribute thing. And therefore that's a little much.
Yeah.
But going back to what we were saying before, I think the big concern from, that I've been thinking about is, some of these smaller venues, in terms of how these guys survive, through this whole thing. And if they come out on the other side, it's definitely interesting.
You're right. The smaller venues and also the smaller bands that barely survive on the road.
Yeah.
So if you're saying the club can only have half the people in it, that's obviously only half the money that they're going to be getting paid.
Yep.
Half the liquor or alcohol sales. The band is probably, is going to be getting less, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, can it even happen for a lot of these bands that are kind of skimping by? So it's a tricky thing, and I have no idea what's going to happen, but we're going to see. And I hope that a lot of bands are still going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's I mean, again, like you said, go on Facebook, and at any given moment, everybody's live performance. I saw Paul Gilbert doing something cool tomorrow night. He's doing this like live from my living room kind of thing. You know, you pay $10 and you're beamed in. Andy Timmons been doing stuff. I mean, listen, if you're a fan of this stuff the way we are, it's cool, to be able to consume a lot of this stuff, but for the actual local musicians that would go play at a local place, it's not that,
the local smaller bands, they're not going to get, if anybody, buying like an online ticket. You know what I mean? Because there's a band, anybody here heard of Catatonia? I think they're a European band. They might be from Sweden or whatever. Okay. But they did something like that like a month or two ago where they had an online only concert. Mm-hmm. I think it was like either 10 or $20.
Yeah.
And like a shitload of people, because they're pretty, not I don't want to say huge, but I guess they're obviously bigger in Europe. But they had a lot of people paying that money and to watch them either play at the rehearsal space or whatever the hell they did.
Yeah.
So, at least some bands are able to do that.
I mean, again, if this was not going on, this whole thing, and we were able to free roam and go out and go see shows or whatever, if I knew that I could stay home on a Saturday night and watch Paul Gilbert in his living room, I'd be doing it anyway. So I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't care that I'm being locked down, about it. But, it's pretty cool. It's been cool there's been a lot of really, really good stuff that I've been able to view online, at this time. But again, it'll be interesting about the live music, and how that returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be back. But again, I don't know if I'll even be there because I didn't go anyway.
Right.
I like the online thing.
You don't say.
Been doing this for years.
Somebody's really got to perfect the technology for doing, for jamming in different places, remote locations.
Right.
And
well, speaking of
Danny Hagar seems to have that down.
Right. Well, Jay and I, we were in a premiere that he was doing like a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Did you see most of that, Jay?
Yeah, it was only like 2 minutes long.
Was it?
Well, maybe 3 with the intro, but yeah.
No, the intro would be 2 minutes in itself.
Yeah, so it's like
right now. Yeah. I just saw it just before the show started. It's cool.
Yeah, Jay and I were in the chat.
They did up until the solo.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that was pretty cool. Vic was playing a 12 string.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. But you guys know, like that's not live.
No.
That's them, each of them recording over each other's part.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. It's put together. It's put together. But those are cool. Man, I was gonna say something. I totally blanked. Man. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm looking through this thing. Yeah, LA Guns is doing it, the Paul Gilbert thing. I've seen a lot of the Timmons stuff. It's been great. I keep dreaming it. All of a sudden, 5150 will go live during the.
Oh man,
not gonna happen.
Eddie,
awesome.
He probably knows the amount of like just
it would just
speculation, questions, like everything would just explode if he were on there.
They've actually done that before, though.
Yeah, but not him personally.
Yes.
Not him at controls doing it. No.
But Van Halen, they did a satellite feed for retailers when their live record was coming out.
Yeah.
And they were taking questions. They did a contest. All that stuff. They played live. You guys have all seen the 2 tracks of them. Won't Get Fooled Again and Dreams. That's taken from an hour show.
So basically, the next time so what you're saying essentially is the next time we see Eddie or Alex, it'll be to promote something. That'll mean something's coming out or being announced. That's the next time we'll see those guys.
Or one of his stalkers taking photos of him.
Who, Caleb?
Oh my gosh! A lot of stuff is promotion. Like there's this company. Well, it's like Jay. like you sent me an email the other day about something that's in beta, right?
Yeah.
And we don't have to say what it is. Although you didn't get back to me. I don't know if you I wrote you back and asked you if you had joined on.
Well, I sent it to you for you to check out because
Oh,
I'm not going to use it. I figured
I'm not going to click on it. I don't.
I'm not going to send you.
Anyway, there's a lot of programs that are like beta, like you get invited to like certain, maybe even this. Maybe even StreamYard was like a beta thing that I jumped into, or actually no, Google Hangouts.
Mhm.
When Google Hangouts first started, I was in the beta program for that. When I first started doing these shows, not everybody could do them. Man, I totally forgot about that. But anyway, there's this other thing that's in beta, and I sent them a message, and this was like 2 months ago, and they wrote me back last night saying you're invited. But you have to join us for a live webinar.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to say what the thing is. It's something I would incorporate into the show. Actually, it'd be very cool, very cool. But I have to do a live conference call with these guys, I guess, to totally get into the club. But anyway, there's other people that are in. I know this is very cryptic. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. There's other people that are doing live streams with this feature that I'm hopefully going to get into. And I'm realizing now, all those streams they did, it was all promos. It was a promotionals for that thing. This probably doesn't make any sense, but it's very cool regardless.
Well, back to what I was saying about perfecting and doing the whole streaming thing. Like we got gaming down. As long as you have a decent internet connection,
Mhm.
you can game, no problems. And nowadays with like the whole gigabit internet and stuff, I don't have that yet, but people are getting like a gigabyte
Giggity?
download and upload or something. And
Yeah.
I'm like, if you can't do that with that internet, someone just has to develop either the software and the hardware if you're going to be using an interface and stuff like that, but I don't really see it being that far off in the future.
I would
Yeah.
have to imagine if they had that, if that had been planned out and lined up. I mean, again, there was supposed to be, again, as things start to open up here, my band was supposed to play, something in June. And now they're like, oh, we're moving it to August. But, you can't even commit to it if you're not going to actually rehearse. But it would be great to be able to virtually do that. But
Yeah.
to your point, the Sammy stuff is just that stuff's just tracked, it's too clean.
Yeah, it's all recorded separately and then mixed together. Those videos are perfectly put together.
Exactly.
That's not one live feed. Although they make it look like it is, and it's cool. But there was one where I was watching it and they did a close up on Sammy. This was a couple times ago, and I could see in his shades, I could see Vic holding the camera. So Vic was filming him.
Yeah, Vic was there during a quarantine.
And he was there. Yeah, he was there. But he was filming him, But then on the other box, there was him. He was playing.
Yeah.
So obviously it wasn't live. It had something to do with that though. That technology I was going to bring up.
So Jay, that EVH in the back by you, the striped one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the special, right?
Yeah, just the
Yeah, I had that at one point. Yeah, great guitar, man.
No pants.
they're on, but
I'm not wearing pants.
yeah, it's just the
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, they're great guitarists. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, but the speed bump frets on this one,
Yeah, I know.
What are you gonna do? Ooh, what are you gonna do? How about tune it? That's what you should do.
Yeah.
How about getting the pick out of the fretboard?
Well, I just did that to.
Oh,
Yeah. What the heck is this? Oh,
Metalhead hippie Johnny, send someone a guitar pick on me. Cool. All right, who wants a guitar pick? First one to say yeah in the chat, and then DM me an address.
You know what DM stands for, right?
What?
Something message. Use your message.
Okay, not that. Not that one.
Send Johnny a DM.
Okay, Riley Morgan, send me. Well, Crazy Cook. Okay, both of you guys send. Not everybody's. Everybody does now. I did that for years, you guys. Years. I gave away free guitar picks, and oh my gosh,
And lost how much money?
thousands. It was great. I mean, I'm talking over a 10-year period, long time.
Thousands. Come on, man.
Millions.
Okay, that's more believable.
You know. Anyway, message me in the on Instagram or somewhere, Twitter,
Tinder. Send Johnny a Tinder, and he'll send you a DM.
He'll send you a grinder.
I don't
A
have
DP.
any. I don't have those. I don't have those profiles.
Oh,
What was that, Bart?
Wow.
Hey Johnny, when do you think? What do you think about when will the Wolfgang material be out?
The record?
Yeah.
Oh, I really don't know. But I would think when it's ready. When it's
done.
time.
It's done.
When it's time.
His daddy's keeping it back.
yep.
Agree.
I mean, I honestly think that this is my opinion, and I believe. Well, I guess it would have been this summer.
The summer of hell.
Yeah, I think that was the plan. Is Van Halen was going to go out, and as Michael Anthony said, he was contacted.
Yeah.
So my opinion and my belief is that they were going to go out, and Wolfgang's band was going to open for Van Halen and probably do some songs with Van Halen as well. And then obviously the album would have been out right before the tour started. That's what I think would have happened. So if Van Halen still plans on doing something, it'll be announced before that, or I don't know. It's a weird thing. I mean, I understand why you would want to hold it back, because you could use, the Van Halen platform as like a catapult. Like, hey, Van Halen's going back on tour, and guess what? Wolfgang's opening, and here's his new record. Bow. So, I mean, especially right now, if you release an album, there's been bands that have released albums like in the beginning of this whole thing.
Stash.
Yeah, not like, and you would think it would have been the exact opposite.
See, I've been looking at it that way, which is that you've got a captive audience of people that could probably use that, but on the other hand, I guess in their feeling is in terms of supporting it. I guess maybe they, it's not going to happen live or whatnot. So, but that had to have been scheduled so far out. I'm assuming that, the date was already set on that,
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Oh, a lot of that stuff is scheduled, years in advance.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff. And Mike Neese, thank you so much, man. You rock, dude. Man, what was I gonna say? Where are my notes, man? I'm blanking. I've got so many. I usually have a.
Well, since you're doing that, is there a guitar in that case behind you, Pete?
That's the case for the purple one.
Oh, okay.
And then this is one of the. I had a guy out here on Long Island I've been using my buddy Sal's been
Sal Tyne?
Yeah. Yep.
Good guy.
Yeah, Sal's the best. I've been with Sal forever, and he did the relic work on this one. And again, just really more to make it, a play, put a DiMarzio in the neck, Satch track in the neck.
Oh, that's your guitar.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I saw that one a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I love these guitars, man. The necks on them are great. You know, the Charvel, the Pro Mods, and these I think are great guitars. You know, for the money and what you get. You know, tweak it up as you like. You know, it's good. But yeah, Sal did the work on this one and did all the aging of the hardware and the relic work or whatever. It's cool. Yeah, I posted many pictures of this, John.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I recognize it because of the yellow.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Yeah.
The neck pickup. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, you know, I like the whole, you know, I mean, it works on the, I like a neck pickup sometimes. Let's put that way.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even play a guitar without a neck pickup.
Yeah.
You know, I have to have, you know, because I naturally, you know, when I go to do a solo, I go to the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, right, Jay?
Oh yeah.
Jay knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Boater Jams. Okay, I got to read this. Boater Jams prefers Hagar over Roth. Johnny keeps sending me messages and snaps inquiring about who I prefer. Now you know. Happy Friday.
You know what that haircut looks like? Somebody would have that in, like, remember Running Man with Arnold?
Yeah.
So it looks like one of the villains in that. What
Maybe
a
it is.
stupid hairdo. What a stupid hairdo.
You don't like that?
No,
I think the dude wearing it is stupid.
he is. He's a clown.
Wow. But hey, Boner Jams, thank you so much. And Crazy Cook, you just sent me money for a guitar pick. Okay, awesome. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Yeah, make sure you send me an address. Make sure there's always an address, because that was one of the things for years. I'd be like,
I love that comment Wesley Snipes do.
Yeah. the blade haircut.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wesley Snipes. A friend of mine, actually a good friend of my family's, is an actor, and he was in one of his movies. What's the one on the airplane?
Oh,
What's the airplane one?
with Elizabeth Hurley.
I don't know. I never saw it, but I saw the trailer.
Always bet on black, right?
Yeah,
That one.
That
Yeah,
one.
that's
That one. A friend of ours is Passenger 57. Thank you, brought the sign guy. Yeah. A friend of mine is in that. Johnny Beans talk about Pete's amps in the back of the room. They're really cool EVH amps. Justin says. What are those? What kind of amps do you use?
Yeah, no, well, so one's the 6L6, the first version of it, you know, without the concentric pots. So I gig with that one quite a bit. I like it. I mean, I just figure why mess with it if you know, they have those mod kits now to do the concentric on the amps that didn't have it, but I'm just not going to touch it. And the top one is the EL34 50 watt. I prefer 50 watt heads. I don't know. I like the 50s. But anyway, that's the EL34. And then recently, one of the guys I go to for some work on some of the amps I've been reading quite a bit about that particular mod for that amp. I know, you read about people talking about the blue channel being whatever and woolly and this and that or whatever, but I decided to try that. I think it's that C137 mod where you put that one jumper in there, and it retains the EL34 quality of it, but it definitely opens up the blue channel a bit more on it. So I'm digging that. I love those amps. I'm in my room here. I'm running those guys in stereo. The bottom cab is
Awesome.
The bottom cab is is an EVH cab that I had Retolex in red. And I put V30s in it because I kind of felt like the 6L6 worked a little bit better I liked the V30s. I wasn't crazy about the speakers that came in the EVH 212s. Just to my ear, it was a little bit different. And then the cabinet on top of that actually was a really, really cool thing. It's a company called the Damn Cabinet Company.
They make that Tolex. You can order with that Tolex.
Yeah, he that was his first one that he did, and the work on it is just it's mind blowing. You know, like you listen. If it was painted, I would think it was cool in and of itself. But the fact that he did it with the Tolex like that, I thought it was really cool. But what's cool about that is that we did lynchbacks in that one, so it's very similar, obviously to green, kind of in the greenback family. So. Those two are kind of, when you run them together, it sounds pretty cool. I can't flip my camera, my desktop this way, but over here I've got the Shimano Hot Rod 50 head and a Marshall JCM 800 Cameron modded 50-watt head as well, which is just phenomenal. And and then a lot of the times, Johnny, when I went to NAMM, when I first started going to NAMM, I went out with Rob Balducci, who's a good friend of mine and who I've studied with and known for quite some time. I went out with Rob with Corn, and he was obviously endorsing Cornford at the time.
I ran into him the last NAMM.
Yeah.
I just happened to. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is gonna be really weird. Anyway, I was leaving one of the hotels. That was at the Hilton. The Hilton, and he was, and we ran it. We literally ran into each other.
Yeah. Rob's a great guy. Rob's a great guy. I've known him for quite some time, and so anyway, I have a Cornford combo over here as well. So yeah. So, but I the main amps I pretty much did with the EVA stuff. I love it.
Jay, did you know about that background? Oh, that's funny. That's.
Well, while Dave is gone for a minute, I got a funny story about boner jams. Is somebody vacuuming over there?
That's always so weird every time I see that.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a person, but to me it looks like a mouth.
Blah.
It's very strange.
James wrote on here the Marshall Super Lead with the Jose mods on the Eat 'em and Smile album. Yeah, there's a great video about that amp. It's very cool.
Eat 'em and Smile. Yeah, that record that was recorded up here.
Was it?
Yeah, it was recorded in
your living room there.
Yeah, I actually there's a I used to have a what would you call it? What would you call it? Like not a practice space, but like I had a little studio for a while. It's like anyway, that was down the street from the studio called Fantasy Studios in Berkeley, and Eat 'em and Smile was either most of it or parts of it were recorded there. And I used to walk past that studio all the time.
Such a great record for 30 minutes worth of music. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's funny when you look back at a lot of those, especially like the not Van Halen 1.
2.
Yeah, Van Halen 2 and
3.
Oh God. Yeah, a lot of those, 36 minutes, 35 minutes, and you're like, oh my God.
Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, now if a record comes out and it's like half an hour, you're like, where's the rest of it?
Yeah. It's an EP, man. Come on.
Yeah. But those early records, they packed so much into those.
Yeah. Are you guys vinyl guys or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I've got tons of vinyl, but I haven't had a turntable for years.
Yeah.
So I can never play it, but
You just look at it. Do this.
Yeah.
When you wobble your hand.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of, a lot of stuff that's only on vinyl. Older stuff you can't get on CD or MP3 now or whatever. whatever the new thing is, streaming.
It was interesting because I really don't. I'm not actively listening to vinyl, but I mean, I think it would just be like a rabbit hole if I went down it. But I picked up a different kind of truth on vinyl just because it was there.
Mm-hmm. I've got one on my wall right here.
Yeah,
right there. Yeah, it isn't. Is it red vinyl?
Yeah.
Kind of cool. I don't know. I guess I'm just too. It's so convenient with.
I was just gonna say it's about the convenience of being able to pop it on. Yeah.
Man. Not having to flip side. And here's the thing too, and the beauty of this is gone. Is remember back in the anytime before that, but vinyl and even cassette, bands, it was a huge decision. What obviously the album opener is the biggest decision, and the album closer for a lot of bands, but it was that side two. All right, guys, what's going to start side two?
Mm-hmm.
And all that's gone nowadays. It's if you're listening to digital, it's just everything's just in order.
I forgot about that, man. Having a side two.
You got open side two strong, man. You got Unchained, open side two on Fair Warning. What are some good side two openers?
A side two to here's a cassette. So a side two, it's almost like you're starting over.
Yeah,
it's almost like a brand new.
Yep.
Man, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, you had to start it strong because the listener was was getting up and either flipping the tape over or flipping, with the needle, and then
it's like, oh, if I got to get up out of my chair and turn this thing over, this better be good.
It better be good, guys.
What if it's the same record on the other side? It's the same 4 songs. That'd be funny.
That would be.
Like, what's the point of getting open, flipping it over? It's just the same.
The same thing.
Or is it backwards? Or it starts with the last song going the other direction, Yeah. I wonder if anybody's ever done that.
Well, one of the cool things I've heard is Pete, you ever hear of a band called Meshuggah?
Yeah.
Well, on Chaosphere, at the very end of the album, I think it runs for a few minutes or something with some annoying sound effect, this hum going.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they play every song on the album at the same time, and it's just like, it's every song.
Pretty wild.
It's like, turn it off. Turn it off.
Is that at the end of the album they do that?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's funny for like 10 seconds, and it's like, stop it.
And is it like 5 minutes of that?
I would say it ends when like the shortest song on the album ends. I think that's how it goes. It's just, so it's probably like four minutes of that happening.
Yeah. So like Dave Douglas wrote on The Diary of a Madman. I mean, like some of those albums back in that day, you specifically remember what started side one and what started side two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you remember where you were when you first heard that.
Absolutely.
The first time you got up and you flipped it over. You remember exactly that.
Absolutely.
So what about you guys? Thrash Metal brings up a point. He said the worst is Tool's 68 blank hidden tracks at the end of I want to say that was Undertow, right? Or was it Undertow? I hate when bands do that stuff because remember back in the day with CDs and stuff, it sucked if you had to especially if you wanted to program a custom
back it up.
Yeah, and you're like, man, I want to hear this song, but it's got 20 minutes of noise at the end of it, or blank noise,
Or it's like if you'd buy a CD and there's this Van Halen bootleg called Dress to Kill, and it's the Pasadena Civic 77 show that we all know, the one that's soundboard. There's this bootleg CD though where it's the whole entire show plus Run with the Devil, House of Pain, both from demos. and then like Bullet Head and Down in Flames. These songs which would become songs off Different Kind of Truth, but they're live versions.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember this bootleg CD. You know, it was an hour long, but it was all one track.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you can rewind or fast forward it.
You couldn't skip.
What it is. Well, I keep them shut. Keeping my mouth shut tonight.
But it was all one track, so right? Somebody here has to know what I'm talking about.
Sounds good.
You got to be nice to it. What?
Well, come on, give me another. Let's think of another.
Hey, Amber. Good to see you,
great.
Amber.
Great side 2 opener.
Oh, that's. I totally forgot what we were talking about. I mean, obviously, Fair Warning, Unchained.
That's the one that sticks out the most to me.
Yeah, that's probably that's one of the more notable ones. You know, I love Van Halen too, man. I mean, I love side 2 of that record.
What is it? Is it Light Up the Sky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got like 2 chances for an intro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On an album.
Mm-hmm.
I know on And Justice for All from Metallica, it's Shortest Straw.
Oh yeah.
You know, 1 ends side 1. You know, which is just, you know, holy crap. You know, ending that thing with a bang and then starting over with dent dent dent. You know,
such a great record.
Oh yeah,
such a great record.
Yep.
But it's interesting though that you say that though, because I haven't thought about it until we're talking about it now. But now, when you think about it, you just put on music and you don't really make that analogy of what it's just one list. You know what I mean? You don't.
Yeah, or it's not even the whole record. You know, like, you know, I've done iTunes for years and years, and normally I'll buy like the entire record of whatever it is, but there's, you know, sometimes you'll just buy 1 or 2 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know.
You know, I'll open up my iPod Classic right here.
Does that have tape all over it too?
No,
it's in better shape than his phone.
Yeah, this has like, it's turned on. Wow.
Oh,
I'm actually oh, look, Van Halen. I'm actually shocked that it actually turned on.
Well, Pete, how old are you?
I'm 50. It is funny that I was just going to pull out. I have that same exact iPod.
Wow. How old are you?
50.
50.
Yeah.
All right. So this is kind of, I mean, when we were younger, I'm 43. Johnny's 26. Dave is.
Yeah. I'll be 41 on Monday.
So, you know, the difference now between now and back when we were kids, you know, like nowadays, especially with streaming and stuff, a new album comes out. If it doesn't blow your skirt up right away,
weird.
A lot of times it either turns into just background music while you're doing whatever, or you just turn something else on. Well, when we were kids, you're spending your, you know, your allowance or whatever when you're, you know,
cigarette money.
You're spending your money on an album, a physical album that you're going to listen to it.
Yeah. Until
you either, this really sucks and I can't listen to it anymore. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Or sometimes something will grow on you. And now it's just like everything's so saturated. It's like, I'll just put on something else. Let me scroll through what else is new. You know, that's what kind of sucks about music nowadays.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, the listening, I don't know, the way, again, it's so weird because I find that I'll just, you know, the way I listen to music now is just so different than you used to. You know, you used to just sit and like absorb, you know, sit in your room and absorb it or whatever. Now you take little pieces along the way. And that's kind of why, like, you know, a lot of times I've been just releasing tune at a time because really, you know, people are, what does it matter anyway? They're going to consume how they want to consume anyway. So,
And it's not just music. It's just
It's anything.
it's our whole life. It's
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, it's scrolling through your Facebook news feed
Yeah.
and like, okay, next, you know, liking this and that, and then, you know, 5 minutes later, you don't even remember everything you just thought,
Yeah.
or liked, or share, or whatever it's called. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I speak for almost everybody in the chat that is from that era as well. You get home with an album. Some people, you know, used to like skip school on a Tuesday, you know, to go get the new whatever came out, and you go home with it, and you just sit like on the end of your bed, and put the album on. You close the door, and you're like, I don't want to be bothered. And you're staring at the cover, the artwork. You're reading the liner notes. You're reading the lyrics, and it was like an experience.
That was pretty much like, you know, when I think back to like my youth with music, that was pretty much it, man. It was like riding on your bike, buying Operation Mindcrime on vinyl, you know, and just coming home and just soaking it in or something like that. You know,
I remember.
It's different. It's different now, you know. If you, like you said, if you go to stream something and you start listening to it, and you're not into it. You never return back to it. And the sad thing is, it's kind of a little bit that way, even with artists that you like. I find, you know, it's if something doesn't immediately grab you.
Well, that's how CDs kind of turned into that as well.
Yeah,
you know, as long as you're able to skip, you know.
Oh yeah.
As the technology got faster and faster, it became quicker and quicker. Just skip next.
Yeah,
that's what when we first when the day Van Halen 3 came out, I was living in Miami, Florida, and I was working with this band, and I bought the CD. We were at this record shop, went back to one of our houses, mine and Desmond's, and we're listening to it, and me being a Van Halen fan, I wanted to experience it. I wanted to play it, listen to it. You know, everything.
You want to ruin the experience.
and what happened, I remember somebody puts the CD in and immediately they start skipping through it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no.
That's the most annoying thing in the world.
So I remember going to bed that night wearing headphones, listening to that album.
It's so weird that you say that, man, because I have a memory of, I was on a business trip in Philadelphia at the time, and I remember when that came out. And I specifically like sat down to take it in. But yeah, you're right. People would be like, yeah, let's see what this is about. Open it up here, whatever. No. I wanted to sit down and have the experience, you know?
Yeah.
That's almost like, you know, you got to be alone. You know, you got to be by yourself, you know, when you buy that. Or buy.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
I remember. Oh, jeez. Get the distortion pedal off. I remember when Balance came out, and I sat in my car.
That's another one.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go because I'm not adding to anything here, and I'm just getting more pissed off with this microphone.
Well, now it sounds fun. You just got to keep talking.
Oh, you sound great.
I remember skipping school for Balance.
Yeah, Balance was a big one too, man. Yeah. 5150 was pretty up there too, you know. I think the anticipation of what it was going to be, you know.
Well, I wasn't a fan. 5150 was the first Van Halen record I bought brand new, so that's all I knew.
Yeah,
you know. So there wasn't the David Lee Roth, you know, the whole thing with me. You know, it wasn't until the internet, you know, 20 years ago, where I saw just the viciousness of Van Halen fans, you know, and just how crazy. And now I have a Facebook Van Halen group with like 17,000 people, and you wouldn't believe the stuff that goes on in there.
But let me ask you a question. I mean, your honest opinion, Johnny. Like, did you like Van Halen 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a cool record.
I mean,
to me, that's the tour that catapulted them into wanting to revisit the older catalog again. You know, that show at the Garden here You know, you can say whatever you want about Sharon, but the set list was legit. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they had to. I mean, like it or not, especially when you get a new lead singer, it's a whole new band.
Yeah.
Even if you're playing the same songs from the previous, singer,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. And well, with Van Halen, yeah, you can't replace Eddie Van Halen. If Van Halen got a new guitar player, it wouldn't work. But there's other bands where they can get, different other members. And as long as the singer stays the same, it's kind of the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
I'm saying I'm saying the total opposite of what I was just saying. But but no, Van Halen 3, I thought it was a brand new band.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the music because it was, I mean, it really is an Eddie Van Halen solo record, musically.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And a lot of people, thought it, it just, some of the vibe was kind of weird or whatever, but
it was the first and only CD I ever returned.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
Man. Did you buy it again? Have you bought it since?
No. No. It's weird because I remember, probably about 2.5 years ago, after I was on with you guys for a little bit, we were talking about it. And I put it on and I listened to it for like probably around on and off for about 2 or 3 days. And it reminded me of why I don't like, I was hoping it was going to be one of those things where I was like, you know what, this album is good. I like it. No, it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, like what? I mean, what are some of the what are your issues?
Well, first off, Gary Sharon. I love Gary Sharon. I love his voice, but I love it with Nuno.
Yeah.
I just feel like, and I've talked about this before, but I just feel like if Van Halen 3 either had Nuno Bettencourt as the producer or at least worked with Gary on his vocals, it would have been a lot better. But Eddie basically, wrote all Gary's stuff for him and told him what to sing.
Here's the problem. Gary doesn't have the same swagger that Eddie does. He does the funk thing and that extreme type of music really well.
Yeah, it works.
But he doesn't have the same swagger as Eddie. He, like Roth has, even though he can't sing, he's got that same swagger. And when Hagar was with them, it was a different thing. They kind of melded together. Like they both had that same type of swagger.
Yeah.
But, it's like Sharon's an amazing singer, but he can't swing like Eddie swings on guitar.
And back to what I was saying, like I love Extreme. I'm an Extreme fan, and I remember
you're an extreme fan of Extreme.
I'm an extreme fan of
You're
Extreme. And I still remember where I was when I heard on the radio that Gary Sharon was the new Van Halen singer. And I remember thinking, my first thought was, oh no. Because I just, I don't want to say new because people love it. Some people, whatever.
I love it.
In my opinion, I felt like it right off the bat, it wasn't going to work because I just felt like his vocal style wasn't going to fit it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it fit a lot better than Mitch Malloy would have.
I agree with that too.
Well, it's interesting because about Extreme, I think that band, you talk about bands that have lost, lost X along the way. I mean, that last tour, that Porno Graffiti tour recently that they did, I mean, that band never sounded better. It's just amazing. But he does react a different way in that band than he did in Van Halen,
Well, he's also on a short leash with Van Halen. In Extreme, he could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Well,
think about playing. Oh, go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, think about the pressure of joining, a legendary. I mean, think about it. Gary. Grew up. I mean, what if he? I don't know how old he is, but is he? He would have been younger. Growing up listening to Van Halen back like when he was in school.
Mm-hmm.
And then just imagine joining, one of your favorite bands and the pressure of, because Van Halen fans they're insane, and I see that, running this group on Facebook. They're Nightbot. Thank you. There it is.
Yeah, he's 58. He's 58, Sharon.
He's like 7 years younger than Eddie or something, right? Something like that.
Yeah, about.
But I don't know. I don't think Gary Cherone is one of, like, him and Sammy, I think, are kind of the same, where they don't care. Like, I don't think that they felt that, maybe pressure, but I don't know about like, how do I explain this? I think both of those guys have the confidence to say, hey, I'm going to go out there and do what I do, and I don't care what anybody thinks or if anybody's judging me about, I mean, I think Sammy had it a harder time, like, overall, like, looking at the situation, because it was the first time Van Halen was at the top, of their fame and popularity, when that was happening.
The previous year was their biggest year ever.
Yeah. And I think it was harder in that sense, where Gary was like, oh, another singer change, like, okay. I think everybody was pissed that Roth wasn't back. And I think that wasn't easy, but,
So what was it like for you then? Because you said you were a huge Extreme fan at the time, right?
Oh, yeah. I still am.
Okay.
I still love Extreme.
So when you first heard, maybe it was like when you first put that record on, you just got really, like, confused.
No, I remember watching the video, the first music video, and I was like, oh my God.
The ice castles.
Yeah, and then the hat. But I know at the time, like, that stuff was whatever. So I get it. But
I love that guitar, man. That Wolfgang with the P90s. I wanted that guitar, man.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like, when obviously the Van Hagar era, it sounds different. We all know that. It's a different sounding band than Van Halen with Roth. But it still had magic. It was still, like, it was perfect. You know what I mean? Even though it wasn't the same band or whatever, same music, but it still, like, worked flawlessly. Where Cherone, it was like, like the block, it was like a what is it? A square block and a round peg, whatever the hell. Square peg and a round hole, whatever the hell. I don't know what I'm saying.
A round peg and a square hole.
It was a good tour. I thought the tour was, the tour was good. I love, there was definitely some high moments on that CD, I think. I know a lot of people give it shit, but I think it's great. There's some really good stuff.
It was pretty awesome for me.
Yeah. 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 I remember the first time I heard, like, A Year to the Day, I was like, oh my God, like, this is
I like that song. That song, Fire in the Hole.
Yeah.
There's maybe one other one that I can tolerate, but just the songs in general aren't, like,
cohesive. I went and saw a movie just because Fire in the Hole was in the movie.
What movie?
It was Lethal Weapon 3 or 4.
Wow.
Whatever one of those came out in 1998. I was in Miami, Florida, and I went to the movie. We had a night off, and I was Peter. I don't know if you know my story with Florida. I was working with this producer named Desmond Child.
Oh yeah,
writer.
I know him from the whole Kiss.
From Kiss, yeah. Anyway, I was working with him and working with this band and living in his house and everything, and so I was really busy when that record came out, and I didn't get to see the tour because I was on tour myself basically with this band.
Wow.
But I remember having a night off one night, and somehow I had heard that song was going to be in that movie, or I just happened to go see the movie and the song was in it. But it's so weird because for me with Van Halen 3, when I listen to that record, it's all memories of Miami. It's all memories of being in a totally different place, just totally different. So it's really bizarre when I think about all that stuff, but very cool at the same time because it's its own thing, I guess, in a way.
That's the beauty, I think, of music. It just it takes you to a specific place and a memory. It's amazing. It's just so cool,
Mm-hmm.
In any CD, anytime, it takes you to a specific place. Like you mentioned "And Justice for All" before, like immediately takes me to like this one room in college where we used to crank that particular.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's my favorite Metallica record.
Yeah, and maybe that's the thing now with, you get all your music in the same place. You don't have those memories of that anymore. You just have the memory of sitting here, looking at the screen, and listening to this all different stuff. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the same at all.
What did you guys think? I mean, I'm curious because everybody has something different to say about it. What did you guys think about not the 08 Van Halen tour, but like the last run a couple of years ago, the last one that they did, the one where, they came to Jones Beach here, Dave, with
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, I did too.
Thought Eddie was on top of the world right there.
Amazing. He was. Yeah.
I saw it twice. I saw it in Concord, California, and then I saw it at Shoreline in San Francisco. And at the Concord show, I was 10 rows back, which I'd never been that close to the stage. Not at a Van Halen show anyway. And I was just blown away the entire night, being 10 rows back from Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, I did
the
thing at Jones Beach. I said to myself, you know what, man, even though you can't, no camera, no this, no that, it's etched into my mind being able to.
Did you see them on the 27th or the 28th?
I went to both.
So you went to the sound check on both?
Yeah, to one of them, to the first one.
Yeah, that's the one I went to, and that's when Eddie Van Halen broke the E string saddle on his D tuner.
Yeah, yes, and I got it. Yeah, but just standing there in front of him, like, just I don't know, man. It's just carved into my mind. It was surreal, And then I flew out to LA for the Kimmel show thing, through work.
Oh, what are you talking about? The one where Roth's nose touches his cheek?
Yeah.
my memory, I'll let you tell that. But
about that though, as crazy as that moment was, man, the thing that's amazing about that whole thing was that
Is it Eddie didn't kill him on stage after what he told him?
It was even that. No, the coolest thing was that when he did go off stage, again, they just jammed for like 5 minutes, like instrument, just jamming. It was actually really cool, that part of it, but it was just cool.
I got to see that live. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But my memory of that is that was right before I moved here to Santa Cruz, to this place here. And I lived basically an hour and a half away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go back and forth between the two places. Like, when we were moving, it'd be like 2 or 3 times in one day. And it was just draining.
Yeah.
But I remember we were moving stuff down here, and then we were on our way back up, and it's a 2-hour ride back up. And somebody was there at that show in the street, and they were streaming the entire thing on Periscope.
That's cool.
So I was in the passenger seat watching that live as I headed back up to Walnut Creek, California.
Cool experience, man. I mean, it was definitely something. And but I felt like coming out of that, there was a lot of people that were like, "Oh, that just shows you how that tour is going to go," And but the tour was great, It only got better from there,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen Van Halen since the Balance tour, I guess it would have been. Yeah, I saw him. I think twice. I think twice on that tour, both at the Meadowlands. Both they came around twice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I saw them 3 times on that tour, and one of the shows got rescheduled because Eddie was jumping on a plane to come up here to Oakland from Burbank, and he forgot he had a loaded gun in his bag.
I'm sure he didn't forget.
And they detained him, and that was the reason why I remember my dad dropped me off at the show. And we're like, wait a minute, they're telling us to turn around, that the show's not happening. That was before we had the internet and all that stuff,
Man. Wait, didn't they make up an excuse too?
Yeah, they said there was an illness. They said somebody was sick,
Yeah.
but I knew it wasn't because the whole thing came out in the local paper, like, later on,
Yeah.
and
So
But
was
anyway-
was Eddie arrested for that?
I don't think he was arrested. He was just detained. I don't remember.
If any one of us would have done that, we would have been thrown in prison.
When was that on the Balance tour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Oakland. That was one of the Oakland shows. Or maybe the Oakland show. It would have been the Oakland show that happened because they played there. Where else? They would have played Sacramento, although I never went to the Sacramento shows. It was a little too far away at the time.
Mhm.
I saw them at Shoreline Amphitheater. I'm thinking I saw them 3 times, though. Maybe they played 2 nights in Oakland. Yeah, they did. I think John Biel. I think they played 2 nights in Oakland, and I went to both.
And then I don't want to get into the details, but those 2 stories that have come out recently about Eddie,
No.
What, the one?
the one with Fred Durst
Yeah.
and the other one that came out.
You guys read that book?
No.
I refuse.
Yeah. I read it. It's interesting. I mean, I just see it as part of the chronicle of the eras of Eddie, but it was
Mike Neese saw Halen on the 5150 tour.
Me too.
That's awesome.
yeah.
I wish I
Right,
could have
so-
seen that.
If you could go back, Pete, and go to one Van Halen concert, like what tour would it be from?
It definitely would have been like Fair Warning. I mean, Fair Warning, somewhere around there. I mean, my first one was 5150, and then pretty much every tour after that, Alice in Chains. I especially the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour with Alice in Chains opening up for them. That was that was just a great tour.
Yeah, I saw that.
But, Balance was great. All of those tours were great. But I love the early stuff. I mean, I love the early stuff. I'd say Fair Warning. That would be it. And especially going back even today because they posted that it's the anniversary of that whole, Oakland show.
Yeah.
Yeah, just watching some of those videos, man.
I have friends that were there.
Yeah,
and they tell stories about that night.
Yeah. Oh,
I was there at 11 years old and didn't even know what a Van Halen was. Just went with a kid from school and his dad.
yeah.
My first concert.
I'd go to the New Haven show and sit in the crowd and say everything that Sammy says before Sammy says it. That's what I would do.
Yeah. John Biel. I think once John Biel gets that DeLorean running,
Yep.
I think you, me, John Biel. You can only fit 3 people in that car.
No, you only fit 2.
Okay.
Well, no, didn't they have Jennifer in the back? Yeah, so I guess it is 3.
No, she was on his lap.
That's right. So you can only fit 2. You can sit on my lap. John.
So I'll be sitting on your lap.
Yep.
John Biel will be Doc, and we'll go to that show.
Yep.
Once they invent all that, which hopefully that happens soon. John Biel, there you go, thumbs up. We'll be there at that show, definitely.
And we got to wear our poof shirts. Yep. First destination if we ever invent time travel.
I'd invent time travel just for that.
Just for that. And then take it away. I don't need it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
What's the first thing you could do if you could go back in time?
Buy a 59 Les Paul. Oh, that's right. I already have one.
You buy more than one.
Yes. With today's money. Because back then, no one could afford them anyway.
How much were they when they came out?
About $450.
Jesus.
It's crazy.
That's a guitar made in Indonesia now.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So, there's website that has all the VH bootlegs. What's that? Are you familiar with that website? Johnny?
The one that has the list, the list of it, or the one that actually has the stuff streaming?
Yeah, the one that has the stuff streaming. Like for some reason, literally like a week ago, I just came across that site. I didn't know that existed, but I got to tell you,
that site's been around for years.
I don't know why I didn't even know that, but that bootleg of them opening for Sabbath, like in particular, that one, like the quality is amazing.
The UK, the one from England,
yes,
or whatever.
Yeah.
That's there's been.
That's amazing.
There's actually some really good. You ever hear the Van Halen 2 soundboard?
No. So this is what I was going to ask. So what? Like now that I know what that site is, even though I should have known this quite. What do you like? Which ones on there are really good?
Here it is. Here's the site right here.
Here's a site right here. There it is. I'm going to put it up in the chat.
Here it is. I just found it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's called
yeah.
The Mighty Van Halen or whatever. Yeah. John Bale, you ever seen this site?
Yeah, that Manchester, that one. That 78 one is incredible.
It's this one. It's that one, yeah. I don't know if they're all like, I mean, they're not all definitely soundboards. But there's a Van Halen 2 soundboard that I just like within the past year or so discovered and can't believe it's amazing. You ever hear that one?
No.
Might be Tucson 79 or something.
Okay.
It's incredible. Even hearing Michael Anthony's bass solo, it's because he played something different. And it's cool. It's super, super cool.
Wow. All right.
Right, John Bale? We actually have that one in the Discord. There's the
Tucson 79?
I think it's Tucson 79. Yeah. Yeah. If you find it on YouTube, the whole thumbnail is just like a black, and it has like Van Halen logo in white.
Got it. Okay.
On it. Yeah. Put on your headphones and listen to that later, man, and you won't believe it.
That's cool.
Mike Neese asks, what tour did Eddie use Tom Weber's double neck? It was 82, 83, and 84.
Is that the black and yellow double? That's the black and yellow?
Yeah. Yep. It was supposed to be made for Tom, and Eddie saw it, and they gave it to him.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Go up for a second. Just a quick second. Is that there it is. Tucson.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is right there.
Yeah. Okay. Just click that. What does it say? It has a set. It was when they were opening at that point, obviously. Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, okay.
No, 79. Here's a rare live soundboard recording of Van Halen's final 4 dates of the 79.
Wow. I got to check that out.
Yeah, that's it right there. October 2nd. That's it right there. It's awesome. Actually, I can play it. I'll stop. Let me play you guys a second of it. You won't believe it. Let me.
Just a second.
Yeah, just a
tip.
I got to leave the studio on this other computer. I'm still there. Okay. Listen to this. I can play a second of it. Wasn't that amazing?
Yo.
You hear that?
Oh, yeah. Even the mistake.
That's cool. That's
What was
cool.
that?
Feel you love tonight.
No, I know. I just meant like since he botched it.
That's the bass solo.
Fucking horrible.
Imagine what that felt like in the crowd when he did that.
I think it's cool. Yeah, because that's when they were using the smoke machine. Actually, listen to the end of it. It's really cool. Where is it? They solo take one. That's right.
Yeah.
I know. It sounds. Once the chorus kicks in, it's actually really cool. I know it sounds like nothing by today's stuff, but just being able to hear that now, I think it's really.
Michael Anthony on the bass.
Anyway.
That's cool. Thanks for the tip on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I picked up when I went to Japan, I picked up a bootleg of them. It was like a double CD of just them doing covers, just all the covers that they've ever done, from early club days up to whatever.
Was it the purple one?
I don't know. It's like a double CD of just, ZZ Top, all that stuff mashed together from that thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to collect all that stuff back in the day. I can't tell you how much money I spent over those years of all that stuff. From the CDRs to the VHS tapes.
Yeah.
The bootleg, all that stuff. And now it's all, it's all available now.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Then we're frozen.
What? I'm gonna split, guys, because it's so hot in this room. I'm sweating, and I don't want to turn the air conditioner on, or else you'll hear other bad noises. So
that'll sound like Michael Anthony's bass solo.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Pete, it was great meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you, man.
Let's when this pandemic is over, let's get together.
Yeah, I'll see you around here on Long Island, man.
You got it. All right, guys, take care.
Good night, Dave.
Good night.
See ya.
See you, Johnny.
Well, it's I'm gonna have to put my little girl to bed in a few, but
yeah, I know it's later. Like I was telling you, Peter, you guys are all on the same time zone. I'm not. See, it's still light out here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's a whole different animal out there. It's awesome. You can still go for another hike.
Yeah, I actually might. I might actually do that. That actually sounds good.
No, but thank you guys, man. This was it was a well needed and very fun hang, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, it was nice meeting you, man. And
pleasure, man.
Obviously, before we let you go, we'll just have you plug your stuff one more time.
Yeah, man. Again, it's guitarforakeyword.com, and all the tunes are on Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere else. If anybody wants to check them out, all the downloads and any CD purchases or whatever goes straight to Project ALS. So check it out. And it's primarily, the way I describe it, it's kind of like, a mash of like Jerry Cantrell, vibey, kind of Satriani, kind of Michael Landau kind of stuff mashed together. So mainly instrumental, couple of vocal tunes thrown in there. So check it out with some cool special guests.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome, man. And yeah, definitely. You'll have to come back, man.
Yeah, man, definitely. I definitely will. And I'd love to come back and, maybe we'll plan to do a couple of, giveaways or something like that, raffles.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do that. Definitely.
Definitely.
Extremely. Extremely, definitely.
No, but it's a pleasure, man. I love, meeting new people and chatting. And again, during this time, I think we all need it, so good times.
Awesome. Let me just check my email. Did I get an email? There was a certain message I was supposed to get, but I'm not seeing it. So, okay, we're going to split, everybody. thank you so much for watching us tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you. Where is this stuff here? Thank you to our executive producers. Thank you to all our channel members here on YouTube. We love you all.
Except
All of you.
for, no, I'm joking. That person right there.
Oh. No, we thank you so much to everybody. And which one is it? It's not that one. That one. There we go.
Okay.
Make sure to check out Peter's website. It's in the chat. It's down below.
Cool.
And what else? We'll see you guys tomorrow for Strategy Night with John BL.
Just John BL.
Just John BL. It'll be a great time.
Wait. So just John BL tomorrow?
Yeah.
So it'll look like this, right?
Yeah.
It'll just be that.
Yeah, that's a joke. If you guys watch us on Saturday nights, there was one night where we all had John Beale's background as our background. So that's what that's left over as. That's why it's funny. But you actually had to see the episode to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's pretty. Wait, I can't. I gotta get a green screen like Caleb, man. Caleb beat us all to the punch. Like if I had a green screen, I'd be able to sit in John BL's sweaty chair.
Oh my gosh. Yes. All right. We love all of you. Thank you so much for watching this. And remember, this is a podcast. F you, Tone. Hey, dude.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you miss? Oh, man.
Yeah. Adam, I was showing all the guitars that I've got all your stuff jammed into.
Yeah.
Best stuff, man. Adam stuff. F you, Tone.
Yes. Yeah, Adam, we got to talk soon, man.
Uh-oh.
Very soon. Let's start over.
Yeah, we got to start the show again. Get Dave back in here.
All over again.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're out of here. See you guys tomorrow night. Thank you so much. And
Nice meeting you, Jay. Nice meeting you, man.
Nice meeting you too.
Yeah.
Well, don't hang up yet.
all right. Good night.